Rolling. So today is November 11th, 2022, and welcome to Connect to Thrive Mastermind with our guest speaker today, Rob Wilson. Rob's going to talk to us about 7 gifts of, it says liberation. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. During today's powerful mastermind, we will focus on quieting our inner landscape to expand out of yesterday to energize our today. Participants will learn how to increase their entrepreneurial dexterity to experience your present moment events, encounters, and experiences. Energize their wisdom, imagination, inspiration, intuition, and innovation, and unlock their unique talents to expand through life. Robert A. Wilson leads Cowboy Wisdom, and I guess if I can say this right, Hypnoacuity. Did I do that right?
Oh, yeah.
Hypnoacuity. Okay. And Cowboy Wisdom XpansionRs, where he liberates clients from themselves, quiets their thinking, knowing, memory mind, viewpoints, opinions, beliefs, and ancestors' way to expand their dreams and desired life. I'm really looking forward to this. Rob introduces people to modernized wisdom of expand, energize, enterprise, and experience a better way of expanding through life. Please join me in welcoming our guest today, Robert A. Wilson.
And Robert, I'm going to ask you to turn your camera back on. I got carried away and I clicked off your camera, so you're back on.
There you go. Should be able to see me now.
We got you.
And
okay,
I want to
excuse me, and ask everybody to mute their microphones. So when you mute it, your little green mic will go.
Yeah, everybody's muted.
Right, except for me, and I'm going to mute it.
Right. There you go. So as I said, just raise your hand, and when you want to engage, and I'll open up your mic, and then you can turn everything back on. Rob, are you there?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Whenever you guys are.
We are ready for you, buddy.
I want to thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here to speak with you guys, and also see the wisdom I can attain from you, because the thing I've learned most in life, it took me a long time to get there, but I've learned to listen for the clarity of life. And the 7 gifts of liberation is liberation frees you from the thinking memory mind, and you're not trying to heal yourself. When you get into the word heal, your thinking memory mind is involved and it keeps bringing the past up. But through liberation, you're forever in the flow of letting go, to glow of your galvanized, liminal, optimistic wisdom to expand through life. And all liberation does is quiets the mind. And that's the reason for the hypnoacuity. Everybody's addicted to therapy. So acuity is keenness of vision, listening, and inspiration. And that's something I've really expanded into, the liberation of. I've let go of the words think, know, learn, and hear in my life, because the liberation of that is, for thinking, it's inspiration; for knowing is understanding; for learning is comprehending. And that makes it individual. And you hear it for your dreams and your desired way of life. And you stop falling prey to your old habits. And hearing is listening, because you can never hear, think, know, and listen at the same time, because listening is an internal thing. But the liberation allows you to let go internally and boldly expand the revolutionary affluence of your trend-setting intentions, opening the now. And that's the thing about liberation, you feel the now. And heal, you think about life and everything that happened. But liberation, you start imaging the scenarios of the freedom within yourself. And that's the thing about liberation. And as I started this all out in 1997 in Portland, Oregon, I was a union electrician. And what I really got into is my life was going nowhere. Then I got into a home-based business, but the business failed, but they pushed personal growth. So I really latched on to personal growth. And in about 2000, I wrote a book called Wired for Change by a Journeyman, but yet my life was going the same because I kept doing everything the book said, but the words and everything I did kept my thinking, memory, mind, and I was trying to change the outside world instead of expand my inside myself. So I just kept going forward and opening up. And then in 2009, I discovered the word expand. And that allowed me to move forward in life. And I stopped thinking about it, and it was a natural progression out of my past. But there's something that's always happens. There's pain and change. Expand is grand, galvanizing the rich affluence, naturally dawning every day in a new way. And that opened my eyes to moving forward. And then I threw in as a union electrician, transformation to me is sideways because we bring in the power off the power lines at 500,000 volts, and then we step it all the way down to 12 volts. And it takes a lot more work as you stepped it down. So that's why I learned when we turn a system on, we energize it. So expand and energize, and then the enterprising makes it kind of a thrill within yourself, and you feel these words. And then when you experience the liberation, you start opening your eyes to a better way of life. And that's the thing. Something I've expanded into in the last couple months is you got to rise above the corporations, the school system, and your own self-trained brain and move yourself forward. And every time you say the word mind, you go into memory. So the less you say think, know, and use the word mind, the less you say in the past. Because what I've really expanded into, the liberation of now, is you expand out of the past in your present day experiences, encounters, and events. But we get so wound up in ourselves because we're always trying to think and try to change the outside world to make it better. But something I've really expanded into, it's the inside world is where you expand and open up to move forward. So as I actually kept moving on and the more liberated I become, I started really realizing the outside world has zero to do with my life. It's just the outside world's a trial and dare. It's going to show me the trials and tribulations and dare me to expand out of them. And that's when I really started understanding all the outside world, everything I blamed on it was me, my thinking, memory, mind. It was all inside me, and the outside world was innocent. I made it guilty because I blamed it for everything. So as I opened up and got the more liberation I got, the outside world become guiltless, shameless, blameless, faultless, with a featureless mind. And that's the liberation. It's a featureless mind. Because with a featureless mind, you can image it. You can design the scenarios. You can actually be the fashion designer of your life and color the scenarios the way you want to. And I kept moving forward in this liberation, and I really let go of my past because I realized I was blaming my parents for something they was innocent of. Your parents are innocent, and everything you didn't like about your parents was inside you. That was something you didn't like about yourself, but we blame the outside parents. The parents, and you blame the outside world. I did. Revenge thinking, our ancestors' aggression, that's all here in life today. And it's really about opening up to you to see the world expand your way. And see, there's probably 20 people on this deal. And there's 20 individual journeys on this meetup here. And that's the thing. Everything is unique. And when you learn the liberation of yourself, you can move forward. And the liberation starts with I liberate me from me and my viewpoints, opinions, and beliefs, my childhood and everything. And that allows you to move forward and expand through life. And as I disconnected from trying to think my way through life to listening for the inspirations to expand, You start feeling the liberation from deep within you. But everything in front of you is the liberation. Everything behind you is what holds you back. And we was taught to live from the past all through life. And something I really expanded into understanding was everything I learned in school is what somebody else wanted me to know, and everything in school was from the past. So, and what really taught me to stay in the past, because whenever we took a test in the past, it always says, remember this. This is going to be on your test. But the real test of life is in the present moment. And that's where you got to open your eyes of wise to see the world, move yourself forward, and understand where it's at in life. And for me, the liberation is just understanding I can show people a better way and stop telling people, because when I'm telling people, I'm trying to put my viewpoints and opinions in their life. And as I show them, they open up to their own talents. And that's the way this moves forward and expands through life. So as I awaken to this, and that's another thing, I awaken people, I never help people. Because I got a little saying, it says I get scalped and helped, but when I awaken people, I open up their eyes to their own talents. And that's something that this is all about. The liberation is understanding you encompass unique talents, and they're unique to you. And there's no book, there's no school book, there's zero out there for your imagination. That's all an inside job. And it's about stop being the larcenist inside yourself. And that when you're the larcenist, it's your own self-torment that's stopping you going forward. And for me, I wasn't the best kid in school. So what I opened up to understanding is I was compared to other people. And then when you're compared to other people in school, you become, you get scars, and then you try to hide the scars. And then them scars become fears, insecurity, causing immaturity. And that's what controls your life today. And the subconscious mind, we live 95% from our subconscious mind. Mm-hmm. And 60% of the world is negative. This is something I have fun with, realizing all the negativity and all the unsavory stuff in the world is the universe or the world asking us to put our own insight, foresight, wisdom, and innovation into the world. And as you understand, the world is asking us to expand us out of the past, because here's the question I always ask myself. If we stop teaching history and the misery of history in school and started showing people the wisdom of history, how would the world expand? And that's the thing. We've been taught the misery of history and the controlling of history rather than the liberation that history and the lessons that were inside the history. And something I just awoken to as I've been watching a lot of stuff on Hitler and the World War II, something I discovered is every tyrant's going to fail because they're afraid of people having freedom. And that come to me today when Hitler took over Germany or France. They had the Pugo company that was really doing good, but Hitler took control of it and stifled it. And that's just what we do with ourselves. We become the controlling factors of our life, because everything you think you know is a limitation. All the education is an asset and a limitation at the same time. But something I really come to understand is I'm going to think and know my way to yesterday, because as soon as I lay my head down on the pillow at night, it's my imagination and dreams begin, and they go through the night. And your dreams, I'm just going to a dream interpretation hypnotherapy class right now, and your dreams will actually show you way through there, but we never took time to understand. And we was always told dreams are your dreams are foolish, but your dreams are actually insight at times in life, and they show you the good, the bad, and the indifferent. But that is where we have to move forward in life. And if you watch this, you understand your dreams are daring you to expand of your own talents, because a dream is your true talents. And that's something that will liberate you from the inside out. But, life is fun when you stop taking it so serious. Everybody's taking the world so serious right now and afraid of humor.
Hey, Rob.
Yes?
Do you mind if I inject a little bit here or interrupt you? Is that going to mess up your flow? Because you've conveyed a whole lot of information, and I know I've made a lot of notes here, some questions that I have.
Oh, no,
so I think that it would serve everybody, serve the mastermind here for us to kind of interact a little bit, so we can, because you've used a lot of terminology that I know you're comfortable with and shared and explained some of those things. And, again, I know it would help. I think it would help everybody to kind of unpack it a little bit. And I know you're attempting to you're doing that through this, but I think maybe if we kind of bounce in here, would that be okay?
That'd be great. That's awesome. What I was hoping for, because
all right. Good.
There's no man is my friend. No man is my friend. No man is my enemy, but every man is my teacher.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that we can teach, but we want to, but you said something very important. You said learning through asking questions and listening. Right. And so we've been listening, and I want us to make sure we're learning what you're wanting to teach. Is that okay?
Oh, that's very fine.
Okay. So I know Randy always has questions, and I know Ricky, you had your mic open. So I think you have a question too. And then I'm by the way, I'm kind of figuring this thing out. So if you open your mic, at this juncture, you'll pop up on the screen. Your video will. So if I call on you or whatever, then you'll be off. You'll be on screen when you unmute. So Randy, go ahead.
Well, I won't disappoint you, David. When you just did that, made this screen, I had just written down a question, and it has to. I believe what you said about the dreams and the information and the dreams and the power and all the rest of it, and I believe that through a process you can uncover all of that. My question is, and this is me, this is about me, what if I rarely recall my dreams? I'm not going to say I don't dream, but I very rarely recall them.
How does it feel to be normal?
And I didn't expect that.
Well, here's the thing about dreams. It's actually something you got to expand into to get to realize your dreams. Because I don't realize my dreams all the time, but if you sit down in the morning and write down how you want your day to go, and then right before you go to bed, you set an intention, you'll see what happens then. Okay. And there's a lot of things. There's oils and stuff like that you can take to open them up. But the thing about I feel about a dream, if it's the one you're supposed to remember, it will be there.
Okay.
And the thing, and we all dream, even though we don't remember them, we all dream. And see, a dream is just a dare to expand and get out of something. And also, it can also show you your future. Dreams are really the subconscious, unconscious, and the superconscious talking to you.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. I'm gonna probably steal that. A dream is just a dare to expand. I like that.
And that's what life is. Life is a trial and dare.
Right.
The world, your spirit or whatever, is going to invite you to the adversity, controversy, the challenges, and the chaos and untimed disaster events, and then it's going to dare you to expand out of them.
Great, Ricky, did you have something, brother?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
I'm a big history buff, always been interested in history. You said something that really triggered something. You said that, and I don't have the words exactly right, but remembering only the tragic and terrible, awful things of history versus remembering, and I didn't get the rest of it,
the wisdom of history.
Wisdom of history.
Because if you look at history, basically history's run pretty much on a flat line if it was a heartbeat. Because and that gets into a whole different thing, but history has wisdom in it, but we've never got the wisdom. We have got how to stay the same in it. And the people that write the history books want us to understand that, or to know that. And it's up to us to understand the wisdom of history.
So if you just do the tragic, terrible, awful things that happen in history and never touch on the wisdom, you can slant history. You can use it to your own advantage to say, for instance, there's a whole bunch of people running around today saying that America is bad because of history. And they're leaving out the wisdom part.
Well, what they're leaving out is how good it is, too. See, they're looking at the glass half full of nails instead of half full of water. And what you said was very true. That's very, very, very wise, because we've been taught to be the biggest complainers in the world. And I could complain with everybody, but the thing is, when you wake up in the morning complaining, you're going to be going to bed complaining instead of seeing how good it is. And it's a simple question that I got a book coming out called My Life Occurs for Me Now. And it's a question, what is events, encounters, and are going to occur for me today to expand my wisdom, insight, and clarity for a better way? Life occurs for me. And see, everybody reads history as a slant of negativity. Our life is a negativity. They're wanting something from life. They want it handed to them. When you start seeing it occurs for you, you open your conscious clarity to unlock the rebellious, spontaneous savvy to expand. And that is a key thing I will share with you. You take the word change out of your life and use expand, and that's XPAND, not EX. You take all that, because X is past, but expand is the now. And you're absolutely right. We've been taught. And if you look at people that are wanting something paid for something somebody did in their history, they're going to go to bed tonight the same way, looking for somebody else. As soon as you give them that money, they're going to be out of it. And this is something I learned in an offshore event. You can take all the money the world has and give it to all the people, which I don't know, probably $20 million. Within 5 years, the people that have it today would
We'll have it again. Yep.
Yeah. And see, and money's innocent. We blame money. We blame everything except ourselves. And we never take responsibility. And Ricky, what you said was very, very true. I was very astute on your part.
Awesome, Ricky. Anybody else have any questions, comments? You can, if you're not able to unmute, raise your hand using the raise hand. Otherwise, we'll. There we go. Don Huff, go ahead.
Oh, I'm in full agreement, Robert. That's totally along the lines of what I've been studying and learning the last 10 or 15 years. It's nice to hear a different perspective, to hear it coming from a different voice who absorbed it from a different area. Just the idea of getting in the way of our own thoughts and getting in the way and how to clear them and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Don.
Appreciate your angle on that.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Something that I've expanded into, and it's something I show, but if you can start speaking, writing, and talking through inspiration, you start moving forward and look towards your dreams or your desired lifestyle, not life, but the lifestyle. You start speaking, writing, and imaging that, and you take all the not words. This is what I did, and it's just to show you. I took change, heal, create, transformation, forgiveness, think, know, learn, and several other ones out of my life. For change, I use expand. For transformation, I use Energize. For heal, I use liberation. For forgiveness, I use appreciation. And appreciation allows you to get the value of that situation and that event. It's just like a house. As you keep liberating yourself, your inner value goes up. And once you get to the value, you start speaking and imaging and talking to the world through your dreams and inspiration on where people are, where you're going. You're going to be surprised how you dissolve out of the past. Because the past, something I've learned, and this is something I do in my Hypnoacuity, is I show people that that event that you're holding you back is occurring, but it's an underlying, and we've learned to stuff it down. And, you know, we try to go through the brain and the mind, but the emotions and the feelings in the body have a memory too. You got to liberate the emotions as much as you do the brain. It's getting the emotions and the feelings first, because emotions are the memory of the body. And they're about the first thing to react. If you ever get into an unsavory situation, you feel the body tense up first, because they sense it quicker than anything else. So that when you can get, when you can emotionalize the whys of the emotions, you can expand out of life. But it's really getting the emotions and the feelings in the brain all going forward. And it's, I call it entertain the brain, so I get the good chemicals. And that's something people don't understand. When they take people in that are addicted, they start working on the mind right away. Well, it's the body that's addicted because it feels a dopamine that comes from it. And, you know, if I could tell kids one thing, I'd say never take a drink of alcohol, because I never was an alcoholic, but everything I did silly was when I was drinking.
Right.
But the thing about it all is we try to know our way through life instead of listen our way through life. Because the more I open up to thinking, I think and know my way to yesterday, that is the truth. Because when you rise up, I call it the liminal landscape, or the liminal avenues of new. You rise above the school system, the corporations, and everything you've ever done in your life. And you open up to your imagination, your innovation, your intuition, but it's your untrained talents that people are never, ever opened up to, because there's 5 or 6, 10, 20 guys, people on this, ladies. Everybody has a unique talent that'll never be in a book or in society or even in your thinking, knowing mind. It's so unique, and you got to discover it yourself. And that's something else I kind of let go of. I don't use the words personal growth or self-help. It's sovereign wisdom and autonomous expansion. I really opened up to use only words that are liberating and free. Unlock, unleash, let fly. Things that keep me moving forward in life. And also I'll throw in a little rebellious troublemaker, because it is actually the rebellious troublemakers in the world that has opened up the world to the new. And if it wasn't for troublemakers and rebellious people, we wouldn't have the United States of America today.
Right. Right.
Rob, you got some good stuff there. Randy, did you have a question?
Yeah. Well, he was going through this, and then you really picked up on it quickly and pulled us all in here. But I've been involved with David, you know, since we started this mastermind thing. And this is my opinion now. I think this is the first truly mastermind event that we have had here. Okay, I think this is really moving in the direction that I want to go with the mastermind. You're really bringing up the subjects, the techniques, the directions, all of the things that will really help us grow immensely as individuals, as collectives, as a group. So I'm really excited here. I almost got, you know, pins and needles in my fingers. I'm so excited.
Hey, making Randy excited, Rob, is a good thing. Yeah, he doesn't get excited very much, so no, that's good.
and also, before I go any further, I want to give a shout out to Jeff Klein. I've been a student of his now for I think it's 11 or 12 weeks, and Jeff has showed me a lot of things. And one thing Jeff has showed me and taught me is how to be calm, but make sure I speak in a deal. And Jeff's got a speaker's co-op, and Jeff is very astute at what he does, and he's very good. And he's also got humor. That makes it more fun.
Well, no, Jeff's great. We wouldn't be able to have
Right.
the challenging intellectual product without Jeff's involvement over the last few years. So
Exactly.
we always appreciate Speaker Co-op and Jeff's hard work. Anything? I'm Randy. I'm going to go ahead and mute you. You can feel free to unmute. Anybody else while we've got? I know Rob's got more to share with us, but anybody else have any questions? If you do, just if you can unmute your mic. Otherwise, just raise your hand and I'll let you in, or else we'll just cut back to Rob. All right. I think you're on, Rob.
All right, thank you. This has been fun for me. I love this. I love people that want to expand the world. And that's the thing, not change the world, but expand the world. And that opens people up because, and it lets go of trying to compare yourself to everybody. And see, that's a big thing I really had to open up to, because like I come from a childhood, my parents weren't well off, but they taught us a lot of different things. And see, the thing about money is fickle. Is if you chase money, it's going to run. But if you understand that you put a service into the world, money comes to you. And it's something I've really just expanded into the last 2 years. You got to have a visionary vulnerability and be of service to the world. And that's stimulating everybody's rebellious, innovative, ceremonious energy to expand. And we really open up to ourselves. And that's the thing about this. And the key to life is relax. I wrote a keynote about this a couple days ago, but it's relax. Life is going to get in the way of life, and it's going to see if it can torment you. It's going to see if it can make you a worrywart and see how it can control you. But when you listen to the clarity of any situation and comprehend the wisdom that's inside the situation. See, me, anyway, when I was doing, I'd try to have to think and know my way, and then I'd get all twisted up and tormented. And the only one doing it was me. I was doing it to myself. My mind manipulation was really at high speeds. So whenever you have something occurring, the first thing it has to do is relax. And that's relax and let go. And that situation will present the wisdom to you if you listen and question it. See, we've been taught, and this was one of my downfalls, is you listen your way to the penthouse, you talk your way to the outhouse. And see, I talked my way so much, I made the Grand Canyon. But that's the thing. When you listen, you're never in turmoil. It's when you think is when you're in turmoil. And we're the only ones in turmoil about everything. And something that I come up with in the last week, it's called ascend, admit, and appreciate. And ascend is ASSEND. ASSEND. Let's get your ass end out of the despair of yesterday and never get hit in the ass end by the past again to say, now I won. Now I begin. Now I won was fun. That liberates me from me, setting me free, because the only one that's holding me back in life is me. Everybody else gets a walk in the park. And I show people the way I expanded my life, and it's a simple thing. Stubborn and hard-headed have two meanings. For me, it was I was too stubborn to listen and too hard-headed in my thinking to move forward. But you also got to be too stubborn to quit and too hard-headed to know when you're beat in life, because the only failure in life is quitting, because all failure is showing you a road that closed. And people never know if they step forward or back, because I admit I stepped back many a time in my life when I should have been stepping forward. And the question is, when something occurs that's unsavory, the first question is, the first statement is, I don't know. And where is the wisdom in this situation? And why is this occurring for me today? And occurring is open conscious clarity. And when you can be open to it, you can expand of it. And that's the thing, to be of life and never in life, because when you're floating above it. But all the things that are going on and in the world, it's our own mind manipulation that controls us. And it's all of our turmoil and everything in life is our own thinking, memory, mind. We try to think and know our way, but we're using yesterday's stuff. So the imagination and inspiration are now. And if you can open up to speak from inspiration, you kind of let go of the desperation and open up your aspirations of life to really move forward in life. And that's where that's why I liberate me from everything is I listen, I'm free. And something else that I've really opened up to on the liberation part is the liminal landscape and liminal avenues. It rises you up. You want to get a vocabulary that excites you. You got to get your own vocabulary that rises you out of everything you ever used. And that's something that when I first got into the personal growth and self-help, it was pretty much all the same. And the words you use keep the memories of that event alive inside your thinking, inside your mind. And once you can rise above the mind and get into the liminal landscape and start using words like, for me, it's expand, energize, enterprise, experience, appreciate, liberate, troublemaker, hellraiser. And see, if you have a hellraiser heart that listens for the clarity, it gives you a little oomph on the inside. And also that expands your confidence and your audacity and valor. But you want to stop being a servant to your past, and you want to stop being a servant to the school system, all your education, because the education is like the road you drive on. Your wisdom, its imagination is like the rocket going up into outer space. And that way you rise and shine every day with a daredevil divine, with your prime time trend-setting imagination, magically energized in your life. You open your eyes to yourself. And that's something we've never, ever really been showed in the world. We've always been taught that somebody else knows better for us. And the only one that understands where you're going and how to get there and who has the talent is you. Life is like looking in the mirror. It's your magical, internal, revolutionary, rebellious optimism revering you and racing and rocketing you through life. See, if you get an energized vocabulary, you start dissipating all the despair in your life. And you really become more open to listening, and it builds your confidence. And that is where I really expanded my life. And, the more liberating the vocabulary, the more sovereign your wisdom is the more you feel your autonomous expansion. And expansion's XP. And that's just takes out all the deals. And everybody is an expert, not an expert. And that's XPERT. That gives you the power of now. And that's what this is. That's all we have. We've lived a continuous now. We just thought we had a past, because if that memory is alive today, it's now. And that's
great, Rob. I know you're kind of want to roll here, but you're covering a lot of stuff here. So I want to give, to make it meaningful. But first of all, we couldn't be more aligned. I use the term alignment, not, and also use, if anybody's people around here know, they get tired of hearing me say it, inspiration versus motivation, because that's and all that. And some of the language things comes from really having clarity and on the why you're here, the unique value.
David, we're losing you. Your audio isn't that good.
Is it fading out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just my headset. Probably it's
okay. It's back.
It gets a little. It's on the cord. I need to secure this cord. It tends to work its way out of the computers. Thank you for heading that up. But Ricky, go ahead.
I want to hear a little bit about the weekly Cowboy Wisdom Radio Show.
The weekly, it's an XpansionR I do every Monday night at 6:00 or 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And all that is something I have that come into me. And the radio show I haven't done in a while because I gotten busy, and I really want to get a podcast going. But what the radio show is about, people having an opening to expand their life without having to try to fit into anything. And it's about them opening up to their talents and riding a range of success their way. It's
So
like
the cowboy wisdom part.
I grew up on a cattle ranch in South Dakota. I actually did ride rodeos when I was in high school.
Okay.
And my body is telling me today. And everybody's got a sore body. Mine's because I had too much youth. But the cowboy wisdom is something I take dear because the cowboy part is down to earth, and the wisdom the difference between wisdom and knowledge is wisdom is the experience. And I was a union electrician and worked in the oil fields, worked on a cattle ranch farm. That gave me the experience. And it opened me up to understanding that wisdom will take you everywhere. Knowledge will take you as far as that book is going to let you. And that's the trouble. We're too stuck in knowledge and not open to wisdom, because we take kids out of high school, out of college, we put them in management, and they miss that step in the middle. And that's where the world really struggles, to me, is we're too much in knowledge and lack the wisdom to move forward.
So, Bernie, did you have a question or comment? And you can turn on your camera, by the way.
Did that answer Ricky's question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. No, I don't have a question yet. I'm just listening.
Okay. All right. Your mic was open. That's the reason why. I just want to make sure. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions, comments, anything at this juncture? We're at 12:30, so we've got probably about 15 more minutes of focus here. So this is good. I like the questions. Again, obviously, as I said, I'm aligned with the content. So go ahead, Rob. What else?
Well, the thing about it is, you can read all the books in the world, but your life is actually an adventure for you to expand through your way, or energize. But we are so scared to step outside of the boundaries of society and everything we was taught in school, because it's beyond our thinking, memory, mind. But the thing about your talents and your innovation, your imagination, there is 0 books. I said this earlier. There's 0 books. There's 0 people know anybody's individual imagination. It's you understand it, but you're afraid to admit it to yourself. And that's the thing about life. Whatever happened in the past, admit it. And then appreciate it, and then energize your whys and move forward. And see, if you take think and know out of your life and start using wisdom and understanding and inspiration, you will expand out of being stuck in the muck of yesterday. And that's something, see, the school system, everything is taught to us from the past. Everything in the school is what somebody else wants you to know. And we're taught to stay inside that. And something that's really eye-opening, we've been taught to be second all of our life. And it's a simple saying, it's you and I. Now say me and you to yourself and see what you feel. And that's the thing about life. It's me and you and me and the world. Put yourself first in your life, because we were taught subconsciously to be second in our life. But you got to open up to the me and you. And when I write my books and speak, my books are unpunctuated, and I write everything in first person, because I never want to put my viewpoints, opinions, beliefs, or anything I think in the world. I write pretty much an open-ended book where it's kind of like NLP and hypnosis. and there's no zero not words. But the thing about punctuation is somebody's wanting you to know. And we taught ourselves when we read punctuation, we go to what that person wants us to know. Instead of when it's unpunctuated, you get to open up to your own wisdom, innovation, and talents. It's about understanding the political incorrectness of your inspiration will expand you everywhere. And it's being about a little bit rebellious and a hellraiser and enjoying life. And you know, the thing everybody gets worried about is criticism and ridicule. Well, criticism and ridicule is a compliment because you're above their thinking, memory, mind. They're afraid of what you're saying, and they have an inner fear to go beyond their boundaries. And the thing I'm going to share with you now is the FOFT attitude. It's F off, F that. You never have to set a boundary, because every time you set a boundary, you set a new fear. Subconsciously, you set a new fear. And you don't have to get rebellious about it or anything, but you can say it silently, and then you can walk away, and then you can question what you was afraid of or scared of about going into that situation. Because once you set that boundary and the brain takes a snapshot and the feelings and everything, it becomes a memory. And that's what we live from, is the memories. A fear is a memory, but it's actually a door. It's showing you a blockage within you. And it's really about questioning it. You got to have an imagination and a question the situation. You start asking questions like, what am I scared of? Why am I afraid? Where's the wisdom? What is going on here that I never expanded through? Because there's no such thing as the new. It's now. It's a new now. It's a new now. Every second of every day is a new now. And it's a now I begin, now I won with fun, because I questioned the situation. You question your way to wherever you want to go. You think and know sitting in your stool. And that's what we're really stuck in, is we're thinking and knowing. But you pay attention to this. When you're in a conversation and somebody says think and know, watch and see how quick that conversation ends. Because once somebody says think and know, they're at the end of their boundaries. That's where they're going to stop. So it's when somebody says, I think this, I know this, that's where they're stuck. It's
Rob,
when you listen.
Can I interject again?
Please.
Bernie opened up his mic, so whenever somebody opens up their mic, I bring them up on screen. So that should be, if you're looking at gallery view, you should see who all's here. So Bernie, go ahead. Bernie, you're I can see you. You can't. You're saying you're. Can you hear me, Rob?
Yeah, I hear you really well.
Okay, Bernie, you need to click on the speaker if you're not hearing us. Now we can hear you. Okay.
Okay, good. Robert, you're promising me if I change, things will get better, but I'm afraid because things are going and have gone pretty good for me. So, I guess the question is, what you're not motivating me to change because things are going pretty good for me.
I don't want to try to change it. I want you to look at the world to expand yourself. I don't use there's pain and change. Expand is grand. All that I'm showing you is wherever you're at in life, there's better. There's always a better way. Bernie, whenever you got things going good, always just ask, is there a better way? And don't try to know it. Don't try to think about it. Just say, is there a better way? and you'll be walking down the street. See, wisdom and inspiration have a weird, kind of a funny way. Sometimes it's a sign, sometimes it's one word, sometimes it's just something you see, it clicks with a new way. And I never try to motivate anybody, because inspiration is an internal thing, and that's something you'll feel yourself, Bernie. And as far as change, I never want to, people, that's up to them. That's up to you. And your life, if it's good just the way it is, it's great.
One last thing. I latched on to, I guess it's an objectivist point of view where, you know, how would I put it? Pessimism and optimism are equidistant from objectivity, and so both are distortions to some degree. Can you share your thoughts on that? Should I always be seeking what's real and what's objective, and not so much get into positive or negative thinking?
There you go. Positive and negative thinking will cause you to stink. It's how you feel about it. And if you feel, and see, I like the word optimism, but you got to have optimism and pessimism at the same time, because you almost got to have that duality, because you got to know this. And as far as reality, for me, I can make anything reality, but it's what do you feel and what are you witnessing about your life, Bernie? And it's about the objective is what is the outcome you desire to experience, and what are you really experiencing, and what do you want to experience? Because see, people have a reality, and I can change a reality with my emotions, but I can only expand when I keep my eyes with a forthright focus on the outcome. I open the unlimited, trend-setting celebrations of my enterprising now.
So my way of thinking is I'm always pursuing objectivity, and I'm trying to stay away from the distortion of positive or negative thinking. But you're saying something different. You're saying, in my objective world that I pursue, when I pursue truth, I pursue what's real, but there's something even greater than that? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's always something bigger, bolder, and brighter out there.
Okay.
But but you want to listen for the clarity of it and comprehend it. You want to comprehend it for your life, Bernie, not what I say, not anything. It's what do you comprehend is good for your life.
And if you stay too objective, then I feel you miss a lot of the flavor and the beauty and all the rest of life.
This is the thing about life. It's your life.
Right.
Don't let anybody steal it, especially that lewd larcenist we got inside us. Everybody's got a thief inside them. It's called a larcenist. It's inside. It's inner sabotaging turmoil. And the thing about us people is we really are good at habit sabotage. And it's us sabotaging ourselves. Right. The world's never sabotaged me, but I was good at it myself. And it's just admitting to it and appreciating you have the valor and the confidence to admit it to yourself. The word admit and appreciate will take you a long way in life. It's kind of up the beaches of bountiful bliss.
Bernie, does that give you some, you can speak. And when you're done speaking, by the way, just in form of, as we learn to use this tool, the way I've got it set up now is if you click your mic off, you go off the screen.
Yeah. I come away thinking that there's something above and beyond objectivity that I can possibly tap into.
It's called omnificence.
Okay.
Omnificence is the most powerful creation in the world, and you can only listen for it. Listening will take you above objectivity. Listen for the clarity to comprehend your talents.
I appreciate it, Robert.
Well, it's an honor and privilege, Bernie. But that's when I opened, it took me a long time to learn to listen, but now I like listening better than talking, and I used to get in a lot of trouble for talking. But that's okay. You know, when people say something that you're like a troublemaker or you're rebellious, just thank them, because you're not in their realm of life. And a troublemaker is a trend-setting revolutionist, opening unbelievable life events, magically ascending kinetic enterprising riches through the world. And the thing about life is it's yours. Any way you want to do it, experience it, is up to you. But the more you open up to yourself and listen for the clarity of your own talents, and we have so much talent in this world that it's unbelievable, that's untapped and untouched. Even on this, and that's the thing I really have to open up to people, is your talents are so beyond where you're at. You'd be on, it would probably, it'd be more scary than going through Auschwitz, I guess. I don't know. I don't have another word for it. But the thing about life is don't let life scare you. Be liberated internally, feeling energized to ride the tides of your liminal imagination, fervors your enterprising wizardry to expand through life. The word liminal is above the threshold, and that's why I use liminal. You want to give above the threshold of your thinking, knowing, memory, mind, and everything you've always done. And something about this is something I'll share with you. Egotistical people, egotistically arrogant people, they get up in the morning, and when they go to bed that night, they go to bed the same. But somebody that's a listener is going to go to bed wiser, with a dreamer's daredevilry to experience a better life. And that's the thing. It takes a little bit of daredevilry to expand out of everything we've been taught in life, because as you rise and shine in the morning, you are the sunrise of your life, to surprise you with your own talents. And that's where life really opens up for you. And when you understand, the world will show you all your hindrances. It's up to you whether you want to take the dare and expand above them.
Well, Rob, sadly, we're getting close to the land the plane part of it. I do want to say again, thank you for your encouragement, your inspiration, the things that you're introducing us to. Is there anything that we can do for you? You know, I always give our speakers an opportunity to. Obviously, we don't pay you to be here.
Oh,
but,
no.
You know, but is there any events, books, anything that you want to encourage us to do? You can. Future, I'll be getting some of these links, and there'll be hot links in the meetup, in the meeting as we're working through here, and I'll pop them up. But I didn't today, so you can post any links in the chat. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, you know, it's just an honor and privilege to do this. And things you can do for me is basically, you know, I got stuff on my website, but basically just, this is kind of my way. I just like to meet new friends and just have new people to listen to and visit with. But also on my website, there's stuff for people. But other than that, it's just grateful for being here.
All right. Well, we're grateful for you being here as well. Any of those
What's
links?
his website?
Yeah. If you could, you can say it now, and then if you email it to me, I'll make it show it. Sure.
It's mycowboywisdom.com.
mycowboywisdom.com. That's easy. So I'll make sure we get that link posted on the YouTube channel and all in the show notes on the Be Connected channel as well.
Now, there's 3 classes up there. There's the FOFT attitude and discharging emotion and body memories and discharging habit sabotage. They're up there and they go more in depth on what I'm talking about. But really, trauma, drama, and all that stuff is just habit sabotage. We've used it as a comfort zone.
Well, I think you've gotten us focused in an area which I'm very passionate about as well. So I really, really appreciate you adding another voice. It's always great. I mean, one of the things that we teach in this network on a weekly basis, and by the way, for everybody here, round of applause. We just went over 1,900 members in the meetup group. So we're continuing to add new folks. So that's kind of exciting. And then we're going forward. So again, let's give Rob a hand, virtual hand here. You can, any of the guests that are here, I'm going to unmute everybody. So you've all been asked to unmute. You can pop in, say thank you, ask a question, whatever else, and I'll give it some announcements here. As soon as Caleb, you made it in. Good. You were,
yeah.
Were you over at the Pancake House?
No, thank goodness I didn't try to go because it's pretty stormy over here. But I wanted some breakfast, and I think I'm going to try to get down there tomorrow.
Oh, great. Great to see you. That was one of my announcements is for the men, which looks like we're all men today. I guess this was a boys club. Tomorrow morning from 8 to 9, have a men supporting men breakfast. It's a monthly breakfast network. Tomorrow, interestingly enough, might be of interest to some of you guys, is Kevin Tiemann, who's part of the group, just got back from Cuba. And the top title of his talk is going to be Brotherhood in a Communist Country. So he's going to, share some of his experience there in Cuba a week ago. So should be kind of interesting. As far as next week, we have, I think it's Melody Owen, I believe, next Friday. Jeff, is that right? I think that's who we have on the calendar.
Checking.
It should be on the meetup calendar for next week.
Hey, David?
Yes.
One thing I would like, if somebody has referrals for speaking engagement.
Yes, Melody Ann Owen.
Great. Okay, well, I've got another recommendation for you, Rob, after hearing kind of your story and your vision is, look at your calendar. If you're available next week, I'll feature you as my podcast. Since you also said you wanted to have a podcast, the best way to get comfortable with that is to be on as many as you can. So I'll give you the opportunity to be the featured warrior next week, and I'll give you, if you're interested, I'll follow up and send you the information.
I'm more than interested.
Okay.